You could be sitting next to a brain scientist and a plumber. At that point, no one really cares. They're only interested in barbecue. It's really a thing that brings people together.
Opening soon follows the true story of a restaurateur's vision from concept to opening night.
I talked to my spices, but you'd think I was crazy. Come on, baby brown. Come on, don't burn now.
I can't take it anymore. It's driving me insane. It's so much noise. At the end of the day, like 10 hours of this, you want to kill yourself. A little more rub, I think.
A little more rub?
Yeah.
New York City is home to 19,000 restaurants. It's not an easy market for a first-timer to crack, but Andrew Fischel thinks he's found the key.
There's no real barbecue. You can go down the street, you can get Chinese food, you can get things that you've never even heard about, but you can't get the one true American food here.
Real Southern barbecue is spiced rub meat, slow-cooked until it's melt-in-your-mouth tender. Andrew's passion for it goes way back.
I have been a barbecue freak since I was a little kid. 10 years old, I used to be out in my backyard barbecuing. I'd be cooking, always cooking stuff. And when I was about 12 or 13, I said to myself, oh, I want to have a barbecue restaurant.
20 years later, he's putting it all on the line to make that dream come true.
I need the half stacks.
For 3 years, he's hustled nonstop, determined to find investors.
You got to go through 500 people to get 5 people to give you money.
After his own savings dried up, he had to move back home with his mother.
I've sacrificed everything. Failure is not an option.
Now, with $500,000 of other people's money, Andrew is creating Rub, righteous urban barbecue in the center of New York City.
This is really going to be what I like to call a meat palace. You could be sitting next to a guy who's a garbage man, and right here is a brain scientist and a plumber, and at that point, no one really cares. They're only interested in barbecue. And it's really a thing that brings people together, this type of food. All of these foods, fancy foods, they drive people apart.
It may not be the key to world peace, but in the South, barbecue is kind of a culinary religion. And Andrew, a nice Jewish boy from Long Island, desperately needed some street cred.
I did an incredible amount of research, traveled literally all over the country to all the great barbecue bastions. I went to many barbecue contests.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Thank you.
I became an official barbecue judge. I did all that stuff to learn as much as I could about barbecue. And on the way, I met my partner, Paul Kirk, the KC Baron of barbecue, 7-time world champion.
Andrew is counting on this Kansas City legend to ensure Rub's success. Paul Kirk will be king of the kitchen, lending his top-secret spice rubs to the project.
I love chemistry, and I think that's one reason I can do sauces and rubs and stuff well. For some reason, I know what will go with what and what won't go.
He's a perfectionist. He's a food scientist. He knows not only about barbecue, he's a professional chef. He knows about every single spice in the world.
I don't like shortcuts in cooking. It ruins it. Just like, you know, we're gonna cook our briskets 12 to 14 hours. We are here to put out the best barbecue, not in New York City, but in the world.
Paul Kirk's world-class barbecue will be served up in a no-nonsense shrine to meat.
In this whole area, it's all going to be seating for what we call the eat it and beat it style, where you come, get your food real fast service, you eat it, and then you beat it, because you got to go. We don't have room for you. In this section, this is going to be the sit-down waitress service section. This is all going to be tables all the way through here. There's going to be seating for about 65 or 70 people back here. It's not pretentious. You can just come in here, have a good time, sit down, eat your food. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and you leave here happy and full.
But is that enough for design-savvy New Yorkers? Andrew's decor ideas are not exactly cutting edge.
I don't know how you would put it, maybe shabby chic style. It's going to be wainscoting all the way around, and then we're going to do some wall surfacing with some plaster and wall surfacing and a bunch of colors.
To help refine his vision, Andrew has hired artist Chris Mutt to do a wall treatment.
Wainscot, it's a great no-maintenance finish, because if you have any smoke from the barbecue that gets on the ceiling, it'll be hidden in my plaster.
Andrew is leaving the design to Chris. There are some structural issues that have to be dealt with. The huge barbecue smokers are too heavy for the space.
The barbecue pits are approximately over this space, and we believe we're going to have to reinforce the floor a little bit because they're very heavy.
Meat at Rub will be slow cooked for up to 12 hours, and these massive ovens require a whole new electrical system.
We don't have even close to enough power inside the restaurant. We've already ordered the switches, and we have to, this is a pretty big job. This could take, you know, literally weeks of time.
Time is something Andrew can't spare.
I need to open the 8 weeks because our build-out time is running out. We have an allotted amount of build-out time where we don't have to pay rent. As many of you can assume, rent in New York City is extremely high. I don't want to pay rent.
But the building, a former vegetarian restaurant, isn't cooperating.
Our first leak. He's scared, baby.
You two stop getting on each other.
No, we're not getting.
You are. You're getting on my nerves.
It's 3 weeks to Rub's opening. The basement leak has been fixed, and two $17,000 ovens have been installed.
A lot has happened. Basically, we've finished the kitchen. We've upgraded the power. We're pushing really hard. You can see there's a million people here. We're trying to train people and finish the space.
Now it's up to the Baron of Barbecue to pass on 40 years of knowledge to a team of New York rookies.
I'm Paul, and I do everything and absolutely nothing. So you are my grunts. If you can't do it, I can do it.
Everyone will be trained exactly to Paul's standard. And I'm sure we'll go through a lot of people before we get a couple good ones, because he's tough.
Oh, excuse me. Guys, this is for glasses, not asses.
Okay.
For Paul, barbecue is serious business, and he demands discipline.
I tell the cooks at Rub, and I said, my job here is to instill in you the love for putting out good food as I have. Gotta put my hand condoms on. Come here, my little chickadee. Here's something that we're gonna do that nobody else in New York City will be doing. We'll remove this membrane. And in most barbecue houses will not do it. It's labor intensive. Here it's gonna be part of our everyday procedure, so it's not labor intensive. Seasoning and smoke do not penetrate that, and a lot of times you'll walk out of a barbecue and you have something stuck in your teeth, it's usually that.
He's created all the sauces, all the dry rubs.
That's a pro.
And all the techniques and the way it's cooked is all dictated by Paul.
Sprinkle a rub on like a heavy salt and pepper.
He said heavy.
Heavy?
Yeah, make sure you see it.
Don't listen to them, just do.
What you doing?
Paul doesn't stand for any dissension in the ranks.
He's scared, baby.
You two stop getting on each other.
No, we're not getting.
You are. You're getting on my nerves.
Okay.
So, cool it.
But fighting cooks aren't Paul's only problem. His head cook discovers that the ovens aren't smoking properly.
Normally I'd evac it before I open it, or else I'd get a face full of smoke. But it's not, as you can see, it's not really happening. Not much smoke coming out of there. Everything's cooking nice.
In the dining room, artist Chris Muth is working on the wall treatment. He's drawn inspiration from prehistoric barbecuers.
I stole the walls from cavemen 10,000 years ago. They used to go out, they'd get a bison with the big sticks, and they'd cook it up, smoke and all, and that was the original barbecue. And these walls are actually, if you look closely at them, they're just missing the handprints and the pictures. Otherwise, it's stolen direct from the caves.
Love it, love it, love it. It's great. It looks awesome. It makes the place very warm.
But the dining room's laid-back vibe does not extend to the kitchen. When it comes to tasting, Paul and Andrew are deadly serious.
Remind me when we do turkey breast, we add more rub on it because I can see the yellowish part in there. I don't really want to see
Okay.
the mustard on it. So.
Picking up some mustard on that one.
What?
Picking up some mustard.
I am too, because it's showing up.
The food needs work, and so does the room. But with his investors' cash on the line and rent money due, Andrew needs to open 2 weeks from this Friday.
But seriously, you think you're gonna open in a week or two? And
His friend Evan, who owns his own restaurant, thinks a Friday night opening is suicide.
the whole neighborhood knows when you're ready to open. When you open to the public on a Friday, the build-up to that day is gonna be so. It's gonna blow your mind.
That's
You
the
don't
day
know
we're
what
open.
You're completely wrong, and you don't know what you're in for. And you know about first impressions. You've known about first impressions since you're 10 years old, and then you're opening this restaurant on a Friday night. After 3 days of training and a couple of VIPs coming here, we're going to tell you everything is great and tell you everything's running perfectly and lie to your face.
Well,
they
you
don't
never
care.
know unless you do it.
Well, we agree to disagree, because that's out of control.
I'm not playing around, so if it's not good, then just put on your jacket and go home. He's being a pain in the ass. I don't have time for him. I said go home.
It's 2 days till Rub's opening. The Meat Palace is shaping up, but Andrew's getting worn down.
I can't take it anymore. It's driving me insane. There's so much noise. At the end of the day, like 10 hours of this, you want to kill yourself.
His girlfriend Julia is concerned.
All these little details. Oh my God, we have to have these things. We have to have plates for people, and we have to have napkins and silverware.
She's moved here from Cape Cod to help him in the office.
See these girls? They're the out down.
Who's calling?
At least the ovens are finally smoking properly.
A little special square on top of the order.
Yep. You got the oven working, right?
Put that in.
Now Paul can get his first meat order.
What meat are we getting in to cook today?
Well, we have ribs in the house.
Right.
We have some turkey breast. And we have some chicken. And tomorrow we have 1,500 pounds of brisket coming and pork shoulder.
That's just enough for me for lunch.
Paul's happy, but one of his cooks is not. When he demands to get paid before opening, he gets fired.
We'll pay you for the day, and if it's no good, you can just leave. I mean, honestly, I can't. I'm not playing around, so if it's not good, then just put on your jacket and go home. We told everyone we're paying them for training, which is unheard of in New York City. No one ever pays for training. He knows he's getting paid. He's being a pain in the ass. I don't have time for him. I said go home.
Andrew won't admit that money is running out, but according to Chris, the situation is dire.
One of his investors owes him like $30,000 and hasn't come up with the money, and he needs this money to open. His friends are going to lose their money. They'll all lose their money if he doesn't come up with the money.
It's the day before opening, and nothing is ready.
We have to get the countertop finished, which will be done today. Finish the back walls, which will get done today. The guys are here. Finish this section of the wall, which will get done today. I need the kitchen for 1 hour, and then you can do whatever you want. I was told 2 o'clock, and that's the schedule on when they start shooting. We have to clean it.
Andrew's a little stressed today. He's getting on my last nerve. He's been up since like 5 a.m. and just thinking about everything that needs to happen today.
He's grumpy because he's burned the candle at both ends and then we light it in the middle.
Andrew is worried about his dining room chairs. 200 people will have nowhere to sit if he can't get them in the next day and a half.
If the investor doesn't pay him this money, he doesn't have the chairs for the people to come sit on. So the people won't, unless it's COD, they won't deliver the chairs.
Chairs will happen, you'll see. We'll be here tomorrow. We're gonna go down there and beg them again.
With his opening at stake, Andrew heads to the chair shop.
Busy.
Hope you don't feel as bad as you look.
They kind of look like this, but with a different body. With this body over here, there had to be special order. So it'll be this chair with steel. So can you find out what's going on? Thanks.
Back at Rub, Paul is anxious about a new recipe.
I talked to my spices, but you'd think I was crazy, so. Come on, baby brown. Come on, don't burn now.
He needs to perfect a dish that will bring some New York sophistication to Rub's menu. Barbecued Szechuan duck.
I sprinkle the rub on and don't rub it in. I think that clogs the pores. The thing you have to learn with spices is that just because a little bit works doesn't mean a whole lot will work better.
While Paul waits for the duck to cook, Andrew waits for his chairs. Back at Rub, the duck is perfect.
Just right.
Well.
Back at the chair shop, things aren't looking good.
I got 500 people. I have the New York Times coming there tomorrow. I swear I have the New York Times coming. Please.
I swear I'm gonna do my best.
Do me a mitzvah.
We don't have our procedures, our steps down. I look at tonight as being organized chaos.
Rub is scheduled to open in about 4 hours. And out on the street, anticipation is high.
We've been getting a huge amount of pre-opening press. Even one of the writers from one of the biggest magazines, he says that there's more buzz on this restaurant than just about any other restaurant opening right now.
Well, now it's working, the true test of turning out product.
Luckily, the chairs arrived last night. Unfortunately, they're the wrong color.
They're not red, they're purple. And
They don't look terrible, though. They kind of contrast a little bit.
yeah, I mean, it's not terrible, but...
The chairs may not be perfect, but the food has to be. Prep started early this morning.
Oh, yeah.
The front of the house is not as well organized.
Where's the POS, guys? Everybody's signing for deliveries and just putting them anywhere. You know, it's like having a really bad roommate and I can't find anything.
There's 2 hours to go, and Andrew and Paul are still perfecting the recipes.
Give me another tablespoon of rub here, please.
Not too mushy.
With only an hour to spare, the new staff are still being trained.
You cannot screw anything up. And there's no options on any of these. We have 2 kinds of coleslaw. One is vinegar-based and one is mayo-based. Okay? Sloppy means slaw on the sandwich, actually on the sandwich.
Last night was
The kitchen staff gets a last-minute pep talk.
Get everybody fed. We're going to try to rotate every like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that, whatever. The shirts are in the office. Julie will take care of it. You guys go.
She got us down. I'm going to go change the super chef.
I look at tonight as being organized chaos. We don't have our procedures, our steps down.
But ready or not, the doors are about to open on Andrew Fischel's lifelong dream. Rub is open for business, and the carnivores pile in.
Starting to fill out with people. I love it when a plan comes together.
Do brisket chicken. Do brisket chicken. Brisket chicken. Just do the whole frickin' slab.
The kitchen has to hit the ground running.
That's a one pulled chicken, bun. Donna, what the? Did we just do the same table twice? We sure did. Table 7's up.
Excellent. Really, really good. Very great tasting. We're happy. Very happy right now. Very good.
The orders are coming fast and furious, and the cooks have trouble keeping up.
Why aren't I not getting sides over here?
Out front, the diners are impressed.
We've lived in Phoenix for 18 years. It's very hard to find, especially barbecue brisket. And this is excellent barbecue brisket.
It's so good. It's like, you can really taste the smoke. It's amazing.
We belong to the gym next door, and he's been fantasizing about this place even before it was open. He's been talking about it.
It was yummy.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks a lot, man. Thank you.
You guys are doing a great job. You're killing it. Excellent. Scott, you are the man. Thank you.
The food is so good, they start to run out of it.
No, we didn't run out of anything. We sold out of baby back ribs. We sold out of brisket. We sold out of duck. We're just about sold out of chicken. We've sold out of a lot of stuff tonight.
Was it worth 3 years in the making? It was worth every second, to be honest. Look at how great this is.
Yeah.
And I'm standing here with the Grand Master in front of our restaurant in the middle of New York City. It's the best. I'm happy.
Find more at fineliving.com. Real information for real people.